anything is possible when you decide you're unstoppable. That's like my thing right now. Anything and everything is possible when you decide that you're unstoppable. And I think that's what it takes for single moms to rise above. Because there's so many stigmas when it comes to single motherhood. And we are kind of put in this box. But we don't have to stay in that box. We absolutely don't. It is up to us to crush the walls of those boxes, like I said, to model it so that we can show our children that they can achieve their dreams no matter what life throws at you, how we came into these situations. I know before I became a single mom, one of the stigmas that I had was that I didn't want to be one. And that was one of the reasons why I stuck in a marriage that I kind of knew wasn't working. But the fear of becoming a single mom kept me there. It kept me quiet. And then I wish I knew that it's better to, one of our authors says, it's better to come from a broken home than to live in one. Right? So that's the message that I wish somebody had told me when I was in a marriage and I felt like a single mom, but I wasn't. And when I was in that marriage and I was scared of becoming an actual single mom, I wish I would have known that then.
Hey everyone, welcome to Living the Next Chapter. I have an author with me today who got an amazing story. There's a great book that's coming out. It's out now, and it will help mothers and families. I think it's an amazing compilation of authors. And not only on top of that, but my guest also has tools and things to help people to get unstuck in life. And I'm really excited to have my guest on. Krystal, welcome to the podcast. So great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to be here.
And for those that are not watching and listening to us, Krystal's got this great background with nice lights on the wall. And I have my fireplace going here in Canada, so it's cold. So I've got snow. I've got snow today. It's crazy. So I am enjoying being in the basement by the fireplace today.
I love it.
Excellent. So like I said, if it gets too warm, let me know and I'll turn it down. If you're listening at home on your phone and you find it really warm for some reason, it could be my fireplace coming through your speakers. So anyways, it's great to have you here, Krystal. Can you share with everybody where you are in this great big world of ours?
I am currently in San Diego, California, which is typically nice and warm and sunny. And I guess we got a little sun today, but it's been pretty wet this winter.
Yeah. Okay. California's a long way from Ontario, Canada. So, yeah. What keeps you in that part of the world? What do you love about where you live?
I just moved here this summer, and it was a great feat for me, actually, to move here from the Midwest, which is very cold and gray. And it's the sun, beach, the warm weather. Yeah, I just love it. I love being out in nature. I love being outdoors, spending time outdoors with the kids. So
good. And how are the kids adjusting?
Year-round.
How are the kids adjusting to the new place? They like it?
They do. They do. It took a little at first, but we went home. We went back to Chicago for Christmas, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, Mom, we're done. Like the snow and the cold." And I was like, "See." So yeah, they're loving it.
So that's the one thing you need to learn in life is trust your mom. And when your mom says, "This is where we're going to go. This is where we're going to go," and you're going to love it. So yeah, I love that's great. We had a great chat earlier, and you shared with me a very interesting story from your background. And you guys as a family have been through a lot. And I walked away from our conversation, Krystal, just amazed at what you have turned your life into and what you have come through as a family. And I just wanted to say off the top that I really did appreciate our conversation, and I would love to to give our listeners a little insight to who you are and a little bit of your path, because it leads to what we're going to talk about with your coaching and with how you help people in this book. And I think it all kind of comes back to that story. And for the people listening, the story is not an easy story to tell. So I would just like to kind of get your thoughts on what you would like to share with us. They would give us some background to our conversation today.
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever anybody asked me growing up what I wanted to be, my answer was always a mom and a wife. Mm-hmm. Like from the time I was in kindergarten all the way through my college feminism classes, I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to be, a mom and a wife. So when I married my grade school sweetheart at the age of 25, it was like I had manifested my dreams come true. And we were the perfect couple in my mind. We grew over 11 years, a beautiful family. We have 5 wonderful children. But unfortunately, I discovered a really dark and twisted secret about my husband, and it completely unraveled our family. It turned my life upside down as I knew it. I am a survivor of childhood trauma, abuse of pretty much every kind. And this was something that I had confided in my husband, unlike I had done with anybody else.
Yeah.
And in the end, he ended up kind of repeating history. I found out that he had been abusing one of my children, and I instantly left. I took the rest of my kids and I left. I went to authorities. I reported him. He ended up admitting to everything. And in the end, he ended up overdosing on methamphetamine and alcohol. I didn't even know he was using that at the time. But ultimately we lost him. And all of that drove me into a really dark depression. There was a time when I gave up. Like I was done. I was throwing in the towel. I didn't want to be a mom. There was no way I was going to be able to handle this all on my own. It wasn't fair. I was grieving the betrayal. I was grieving the loss of my husband that I loved. I was grieving the loss of my child's innocence. There was just so much going on. It hit me all at once. And I was like, I couldn't do this with a partner. How in the heck am I going to do this by myself?
Yeah.
And I was throwing in the towel. But I had been through enough self-healing at that point. I've been on a journey for as long as I can remember, really. I recognized it. I recognized where I was and that I had 2 choices. I could either let this drag me all the way down, and leave my children orphans, or I could rise above. And so that's what I chose to do. I got help. I started putting my life back together, started taking care of myself. I started surrounding myself with support. I developed a vision, both of where I wanted to go and of how to take care of myself and my family to help get us there. And I started taking the steps. Mm-hmm. And that in December, I was in the hospital. And by July, I had sold our old home, bought a new home cross country, and drove those babies out here. And now here we are, living the life that I've literally dreamed about.
What a story.
A best-selling author. Mm-hmm. I'm speaking on stages. I'm helping people get through their muck and get unstuck. And I'm spending all the time that I need to with my babies, mm-hmm. which at the end of the day is what matters the most to me.
So when you guys were going through this as a family in this home, your neighbors walk by and they wave from the car down the street or whatever, and no one really knows what's happening in a home on any given street in our neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Did you, as a mom, did you feel alone through all of this when you had to deal with the information and the reality of what was happening under your roof? Like, were you all by yourself with this?
At first, no.
Okay.
I had created the most incredible support system. And if I hadn't, I absolutely would have fallen. Like, I have no doubt in my mind. So at first I felt very, very supported. And it wasn't until months later when kind of all of the dust settled and I was in just my active day to day where, it does. I still have days where it's like, gosh, I'm in this all by myself because I am the only one here that is able to do all of the things that need to be done. Right. But I also know that if I'm feeling alone, I have a plethora of people that I could reach out to at any given time.
So when you move across the country to a new city, new location, how does that support group travel with you? And do you start creating a new support group where you are now? How does that work?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Both. Technology is amazing. So I'm in touch with my old support group and I've started creating a new support group. And not just group, system. It's a system. So there are groups of people. It's family, it's friends, it's therapy, it's medication, it's podcasts, it's videos, it's programs, it's all of the things that you do to support yourself, right? Because I don't believe anybody is here to go through life alone. I believe we all need each other and we all affect each other in some way. So reaching out and creating that system is so essential for everybody.
How do you bring yourself into a coaching session with somebody who wants to come and work with you? What is your approach based on the things you've lived through when you sit down with somebody for the first time? I'm kind of interested to kind of go behind the curtain a little bit and to see how you interact with someone who's coming to you for help.
Yeah, it all starts with listening, giving them the opportunity to use their voice and share, excuse me, where they are and where they would like to go. And then we uncover the different challenges that may be stopping them from getting where they would like to be. And then I help create a plan and help them implement it to get there.
When you're talking to people, are you seeing some commonalities about places where people get stuck in life that seem to be popping up as kind of a pattern at all when you talk to people?
Yeah, well, I feel like we all have different areas that pop up, but usually it's stuff from the past that we haven't dealt with in one way or another.
Okay. So how do you help people deal with those things that pop up?
Recognizing them, acknowledging them, and then connecting them with the resources, whatever they may be, because I'm certainly not, certified to help everybody in every way, but I am that connection, that piece in between. So to help them figure out, okay, what is it that I need to work on? Is it a business thing in the past? Is it a childhood thing? Is it a relational thing? Is it a self-worth thing? And once we have pinpointed that, then it's easier to find the resources that can continue to give that support that they need.
Based on your lived experiences and all the things you've gone through as a family, how do you feel, or what would you identify as your superpower that you would bring into a coaching session with somebody? Something that you just can see around corners and you just have this radar or something? Is there something that you bring that you feel is your superpower?
Yeah, I feel it, seeing that big picture and kind of helping to point out those roadblocks, because, they say we can't read the label from inside the jar. Yeah. So we can't recognize it, but I can absolutely help you from the outside to recognize it. So that would be it.
Okay. See, that's what I love. I love, because when you go to an online site and you look up a coach or somebody to help you, and you have a website and you're like, like, will this person be able to speak to me? Will we have, what would it be like to work with this person? Who are they? Like, I can see photos and I can see testimonials, but yeah, I would love to know the person, right? And who they are, and will we be a good fit? How do you determine who's a good fit for your coaching styles?
So I primarily work with women, specifically moms, and that would probably tie into my superpower as well, because as a mom, we have a unique set of challenges, and common thread of thoughts and feelings, limiting beliefs, mom guilt, all of that kind of stuff that I can help women work through.
Okay. I love that. For a mom that's listening right now who has been through tough stuff in their home, and they're listening to us going, my gosh, I need to talk to Krystal. Like, I think I've found my new partner in life to help me through some of this stuff. What would you say to somebody listening that's been through a lot and doesn't have a great support structure around them and is looking for help? What would you say to them?
So first thing I would want to say is that you matter. 110% you matter. You deserve to be here. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to use your voice and live the life that you want to live. And that I know what it feels like to be disconnected, to feel empty, to feel like you just don't care anymore. And I know what it takes to help release that and get to the next level. And that's what I'm passionate about doing, is about helping women do that, specifically moms, because I'm on a mission to help break generational cycles of trauma and abuse. And the way that we do that is by teaching our children so they can teach their children, and so on and so forth. The way that we teach our children is through modeling. It's not what we tell them, it's what we do. So it starts with us. It starts with us. So I would encourage them to check out my website. I have free support groups. I have coaching programs. I can work one-on-one with people. I'm really particular about meeting people where they are and helping them get to that next level.
So when I hear people say, do as I say, not as I do, that's not what you're saying. You're saying the opposite, right?
Absolutely.
So it's more of do as I do.
Yep.
Okay. I love that. That's, because I hear people say that, walk. Right? I actually hear coaches who say, do as I say, not as I do. And you're the coach. And so I'm like, wait a minute. If your teaching is not something you even put into practice yourself, how do you expect me to learn anything from you? Right? I think you need to be practicing what you're saying.
Right. You got to learn from someone who's been there, done that, knows what they're talking about, because they are living it every day.
Does it get easier for you?
It absolutely does. And that's not to say that I don't have days. Like I have days. I have days at a time sometimes. And it's okay. It's okay. And that is where I have grown to be like, okay, it was a bad day or it was a bad week, but that's not what matters. What matters is what I do with it from here. What am I going to take from this? What am I going to learn? And how is that going to help me grow?
what is an example of a question from somebody you've worked with that you had to wrestle with to come up with the answer?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Because you can't have the answer to everything, right? No one really does. But I can just imagine someone sitting there asking you something and you're like, whoa, I haven't really dealt with that before. I haven't thought about that. I haven't processed that before. I've never come across this. And they're looking for you for an answer, right? Because I'm just afraid of some coaches maybe that fake answers. And it's not authentic. It's not authentic, right?
Right. So what I do in that case is my standard go-to answer is I don't have all of that information, but I will get the answer and find someone who does, and I'll get back to you.
See, there, right?
Yeah. So if it's something that is outside of my realm, absolutely. I would rather than deal with somebody who has that experience to actually help them make that transformation.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned as far as part of your support group, like podcasting, for example, is there something that you've connected with in the past that has helped you when you've heard it, or you're like, wow, this has been such a it's fed me and helped me grow a book, a podcast, another coach, something that just kind of filled you up?
There are so many things. I think what is important is to continue consuming it, continue embodying what you consume. So, there are so many different, from people that I've spoke to, conversations that I've had, books that I've read, podcasts that I've listened to, speeches that I've watched, programs, conferences that I've attended. I've gone through leadership programs. I think what is important, though, is, like I said, is that you always stay a student and you just always keep learning and keep growing.
I heard somebody say that students make the best teachers.
And
I'm like, that really stuck with me, right? Because not everyone can be a teacher at all times and everything. We're always learning something. So in that sense, then we're all students. So, and as you learn, you teach, and people come along for the journey, right?
Yes. And the more you learn, the more you teach. So just because I'm teaching this doesn't mean I feel like I have it all 100% under control, because I'm still learning and I'm still growing. But I have come a long way. So I know I have a lot to offer somebody who is where I was, and I can help them get to where I am. And like you said, take them with me as I continue to grow.
That's great. Now, though this is Living the Next Chapter, we're here to talk about your book as well. I love our conversation so far. It's great. I would love to talk about the book, and you have it there with you, and I would love to see it again.
Do.
There it is.
This is Shattering the Stigma of Single Motherhood, a collection of stories redefining family norms. I wrote this with 11 other co-authors. We each have a unique story about how we became single mothers, first of all, and then second of all, the lessons that we've taken away from that.
We talked about maybe a mother listening that's had trauma in their life, but to the single mothers that are listening to this episode, what is your message to them today?
You're amazing. And anything is possible when you decide you're unstoppable. That's like my thing right now. Anything and everything is possible when you decide that you're unstoppable. And I think that's what it takes for single moms to rise above. Because there's so many stigmas when it comes to single motherhood. And we are kind of put in this box. But we don't have to stay in that box. We absolutely don't. It is up to us to crush the walls of those boxes, like I said, to model it so that we can show our children that they can achieve their dreams no matter what life throws at you, how we came into these situations. I know before I became a single mom, one of the stigmas that I had was I didn't want to be one.
Mm.
And that was one of the reasons why I stuck in a marriage that I kind of knew wasn't working. But the fear of becoming a single mom kept me there. It kept me quiet.
Mm.
And then I wish I knew that it's better to, one of our authors says, it's better to come from a broken home than to live in one.
Whoa. Okay, wait. Can you say that again, please?
It's better to come from a broken home than to live in one.
Wow. That's powerful.
Right? So that's the message that I wish somebody had told me when I was in a marriage and I felt like a single mom, but I wasn't. And when I was in that marriage and I was scared of becoming an actual single mom, I wish I would have known that then.
Mm-hmm. So that's a great message to someone living in trauma right now that doesn't know what to do. Wow, that's powerful.
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about the authors that are a collection here in this book and kind of who they are and like an overview of who's in this book?
Yeah. So here, I'll show you the back cover. We kind of have everybody's. There we go. We got everybody. So Dr. Jill Zambon was the head author. She's, oh wait, that's me backwards. She's over here. And she is the project manager. She pulled us all together and got us all to kind of share our story. And everybody talks about different things. There's a woman in here who became a single mom by choice. So she decided to become a single mom. There are moms in here young moms who survived abuse, got out of traumatic relationships, women who became moms against their will, women who are just absolute powerhouses in that they have all decided to take that pain and turn it into something more powerful and to be that example for their kids. We have financial experts. We have one of them's a nurse. One of them, a couple of them were military veterans. So yeah, just a really unique and inspiring group of women.
So when you were contacted to be a part of this, was there a big picture, big idea for the book that was kind of the overarching idea behind this?
Yeah, to help moms overcome the obstacles of being a single mom, to help moms understand that they're not alone and that you don't have to be ashamed or embarrassed about being a single mom. I think that's really important.
Yeah. Awesome. And as far as the book's availability, people can find it everywhere then?
Yeah, they can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere books are sold.
Okay. Let's switch gears briefly and just talk about your family. With your kids, I'm just curious as to, for them and the things that they have been through as a family and all of the travel and the moving and everything. What is your hope for your kids as you watch them grow and adapt to this new surroundings? As you look down the road for them, what are your kind of your big hopes and dreams for them and their families?
100% that they always use their voice, that they understand that they can achieve anything, and that they understand how much they're loved and the importance of family and connection and how that is the most important thing.
Because I know before we hit record, you're saying you're going to be heading out soon to go pick them up at school and stuff. And I'm an empty nester now. My kids are off doing life, and just my wife and I left at the home. We got all their stuff here, but they're not here. And I miss the days of sitting in the line waiting for my kids to come running out with their bags, and the smiles and the joy in their face as they come to the car, right? So I'm feeling a little jealous that you get to have that today. So I want parents, single parents, people listening to treasure these moments with your kids, because, they are a sponge, and they, not only are they copying the words you say, but again, they're copying how you live. And you have really no idea of what lessons you're teaching, even when you don't say a word. So I love that that's important to you as a mom and as a coach, because people are watching, people are listening, and people are taking note. And, my hope for your family too, and just in our conversations, is that they see how strong their mother is. Because I think, again, that means a lot. Because there's going to be a day, again, when my kids are adults now, where they come by, they're like, I get it. I get it. When I was 10, I didn't get it. I'm 21. I'm 25. Dad, yeah. Mom, I get it. Now I understand. So thank you, is what the message I'm getting from my kids. And I'm excited for you that one day you're going to have that conversation. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Keep going. Keep going. Right? Because you say at times that it does feel lonely, but you have some eyeballs that are watching your every move, and that's amazing. So
yeah, I'm definitely never alone.
No, right? Yeah. I'm alone, but never alone. Yeah. I get it. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, I kind of went off on a little tangent there, but I was touched by our conversation before and today. So I just really want people to understand that, there is hope out there. That's the one message I really want to get out to people listening that come for the title of this episode, and they're a single mother, or they've been through a traumatic life experience, and they've come to this episode. I just want them to hear the words, right? So I would love for you to take us out with your thoughts for people that are here because of the title of this episode, or because of the book, or or I just would love to kind of close off with you and your thoughts.
Yeah. So I just want everyone to know that, like I said, the power is within them, and that it's possible to be happy. It's possible to find joy with your kids. It's possible to create a life that you actually enjoy living. And not only is it possible, but when you take the steps and you get there, it is such a magnificent feeling to actually be on that other side. So just to let people know that it's possible, because when you're feeling, stuck and you're feeling disconnected and all that, you're not always thinking, that you can, but you absolutely can. 100%.
Awesome. And with that, I know you have to run and get the kids and everything. And I appreciate you making time for me in your day.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me.
To be able to share your story and open the door for people to say, I need to talk to Krystal. So, that's something that brings me great joy, just having you here. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate you so much and all of your time. You've been great.
Awesome. All right, everyone, please go support Krystal, and check out all the links in the show notes. And again, take a look. Krystal has a course coming out. It's a 6-week course. It's starting on March 13th, and she's going to take you from being stuck to unstoppable. And I love that, by the way. So you can find all the information over at krystalcasey.com. And Krystal, again, thank you so much for being part of this. And I'm following with great interest and great appreciation for what you've done.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for being part of Living the Next Chapter. Hey, look, we're We're having such a great time talking to authors around the world. If you are an author and you would like to be on this very show, I would love to talk to you. livingthenextchapter.com, livingthenextchapter.com, livingthenextchapter.com is the best way to get in touch with us. There you'll find our social media and blah, 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 la-di-da, and such. You, author, soon-to-be author, new author, currently writing your book author, published author, we need you here. The seat's empty, microphone set up, we're waiting for you. livingthenextchapter.com. We would love to have you on the podcast. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you should be here. See you at livingthenextchapter.com.
Mindshift Power Podcast, the podcast for teenagers and those who work with them. There's a huge problem in America today. There's a very large disconnect between teenagers and the adults who work with them. I'm looking to bridge that gap with real, raw, honest conversation, not held back by the chains of political correctness. You cannot solve a problem you do not understand. Want to understand teenagers today? Listen to this podcast. This podcast is for teens in the U.S. and Canada. To learn more, go to fatimabay.com/podcast or just look for Mindshift Power Podcast on any listening platform. I look forward to you being a faithful listener.